Hey guys, so I am going to be talking about something today regarding the most fun I have ever had with makeup. And when you find out what it is that I'm talking about, you may be tempted to click out, but please don't because it will be worth it if you just hang in there and listen to what I have to say. So I have done a video about this in the past and I was wrong. I can admit when am wrong or I made a mistake, and that video has been deleted because the information that was in there was wrong. What am I talking about? Making your own eyeshadows. I did a video before and I thought all I had to do was press my pigments with some alcohol and boom, I would have eyeshadows. No, that doesn't work that way. It's not that easy because you need a binder, you need something to hold it together. So I said, okay, I'm going to try this again, but this time I'm going to do it the right way. So I knew that I needed more information. So I took out this book from the library as a jumping off point. Make It Up, The Essential Guide to Do-It-Yourself Makeup and Skincare by Marie Rama. Now, she has sold a ton of these books, and she has a YouTube channel, she has videos, but I used this as a jumping off point, okay? Because once I started reading the section on eyeshadows and really looked at the information, so has a ton of ingredients listed here. And I said to myself, man, if I buy all these ingredients, this is going to cost me a fortune. And so I said, okay, what can I do to modify all this? So what I did was I went to the website of the people that I buy my pigments from, and that is Just Pigments. Now, you've heard me talk about them many times before. Yes, they do send me some stuff for free, but I buy a lot of stuff from them with my own money. Matter of fact, I just placed an order this morning, plus I placed another order the other day, and I just got my stuff from that. So I just want to show you what I bought to get started making my own eyeshadows. By the way, the eyeshadows I have on now, I made myself. And I still have a way to go. I need to perfect the formula. It's not simple. Let me grab my stuff so I can show you. Okay, so you're gonna need a dust mask because pigments, you don't want to be breathing that in. You know, when you start working with it, it goes in the air, and if you breathe that in over a period of time, it could cause some damage. So you want to use a dust mask, and you're going to need some labels for your jars. You're going to need some containers like this to store your pigments and to store your like base batches that you make. Now this is all the things I'm showing you, this is just what I do, but I have modified, like I said, a lot of the information that I read in her book. I use a small glass dish to mix things up. She uses a coffee grinder. I don't feel like that's necessary, and I feel like that could be a disaster if your formula isn't quite right trying to get it out of the coffee grinder. It would all get stuck in the blades, and because it's going to take a while before you get the formula to be the way you want it to be. I bought some organic jojoba oil from Sky Organics. This is at Walmart. I just wanted something that I could walk into a store and buy, and this fit the bill. So it's a pretty significant amount. It's 4 ounces, so this will probably last a long time because you only need a few drops. And then I use a quarter to press my eyeshadows, but you know, like I said, you do you. You do it the way you want to do it. Now this, an eyedropper, because that oil does not come with an eyedropper. It has a pump on it. I had this already. This is a metal spatula. You can get these at a lot of different places, but I bought this with my empty palette, my mixing palette. I have a metal palette, and I think this came with that. And if it didn't, I bought this at Sephora. I don't, you can get them on Amazon. There's a lot of places you can get things like this. I had to buy a set of mini measuring spoons. I got this from Amazon. I just typed in pinch dash measuring spoons, and they were not expensive. I got the whole set for like $5, and they seem to be very nice. They're like stainless steel. Don't get plastic, because all the ingredients that you're going to be using are going to stick to the plastic, and it's going to make it hard to work with them. Because I did use a plastic spoon that I already had that's 1 teaspoon for one of the measurements, and yeah, the powders and stuff sticks to the plastic. Now, I did use some alcohol in some of my mixtures. That was a mistake. Don't use alcohol at all. If you use all the other ingredients that are ingredients that you would be using, the alcohol makes your eyeshadows less pigmented, and it makes them too hard and more likely to crack. So don't use alcohol. I did this all day yesterday, played around with different formulas to find out what works, what doesn't work. So anyways, when I read in her book about the ingredients, I was like, that's way too many ingredients. This is going to cost a fortune, you know, and I really didn't want it to be expensive. So I bought this from Just Pigments. This is their premium foundation base. Now this is supposed to be to make foundations, but I used it to make eyeshadows. And the first batch that I made ended up being the batch that came out the best, and this is what I used, because this has a lot of the ingredients in it that she recommends in her book that you use. So there are some things in here that are not on her list, and she has things on her list that are not in here, vice versa. But this ended up being the way to go, because I also went to the store and bought some Bob's Red Mill arrowroot starch / flour, because that is arrowroot powder is one of the things that she lists as an ingredient. So I thought, all right, let's try to do this. But she also says to put a whole bunch of other things that I didn't buy. But I did find a recipe on the internet that said to use half arrowroot powder and half pigments / colorants. Well, those recipes I wasn't too happy with. But let me show you what I made. Let me set this aside and show you what I made. Okay, so the first ones that I made ended up being the ones that came out the best. And on my lids, the ones that came out the best is like from the halfway point on my lid to the edge. And these look exactly the same, but I actually changed the formula a little bit from one to the other just to see what would happen. And okay, so let me swatch them both. So they look almost identical. And what this is a combination of that foundation base that I showed you, the premium foundation base, and two pigments that I bought when I ordered that. I got Cooper Brown and I got Satin Grey. And I mixed those together with a few drops of this. And I think that was it. And just pressed them into some pans that I had saved. Because when I bought, when I got pigments before, they fell apart because I wasn't doing it right when I was doing it with alcohol. I scraped out the pigments, saved them, and saved the pans, and that's what I'm using now to play. Okay, but I also found some recipes on the internet that said to try using some natural things instead of pigments. So this is turmeric. This is spirulina. This is cocoa powder. But then these three here are pigments and oxides. This one here is, I think it's either arrowroot powder or it's the foundation base. I can't remember now because I did so many combinations of things that, and I didn't write down which ones had what in them. But that one there is what I have in the crease and outer corner. This one here is actually a combination of things, a lot of different things. And that is what I have in my inner corner and my brow bone. But the further I went down in that pan, the darker it got. So I had to put some white highlighter on top of it to do my brow bone because, yeah, I noticed that as I started getting into that, I don't know if you can tell, but if you look in the very center, it looks blacker because I was mixing different things together. I mixed black iron oxide with flash violet, and I can't remember what I used as my base for that. Did I use the arrowroot powder or the foundation base? I don't remember. And then this one here is a modified version of those first two I showed you, and I didn't like that one as much. I changed the formula and I didn't like it as much. But let me swatch these so you can see why I don't recommend using natural things instead of actual pigments. Okay, that's the turmeric one, see? So it doesn't look anything like it does in the pan. And then the spirulina is on my middle finger. Yeah, they don't have any color payoff. And I even emptied out the spirulina one, dumped it out, crushed it up, and added more spirulina and repressed it, and it still doesn't have the color payoff. And then the cocoa one, I did the same thing with the cocoa one. I scraped it out, broke it up, added more cocoa powder and repressed it. And look, that doesn't look like the color of cocoa at all on this finger right here. So yeah, I would not recommend using natural things to make eyeshadows. It didn't seem to work out that well. So I'm going to stick with using pigments, mica pigments, iron oxides, and foundation base. I don't think that the arrowroot powder is going to work out because, like I said, there was a bunch of other ingredients that she put with that, and I didn't buy all those. I think that the foundation base definitely made the best eyeshadows because these are just texture wise and the way they apply are just like a regular eyeshadow that you would buy at the store. So I think I'm going to stick to the foundation base. However, one website I was on said that you can use kaolin clay as an eyeshadow base. So the order that I placed this morning from Just Pigments, I ordered some of that too. I ordered kaolin clay, just the plain white kind, and I ordered some brown iron oxide because I already had the black and I was able to use that to darken things up, and it's extremely pigmented because it's pure pigment. It's brown, it's black iron oxide. So I wanted to get the brown so that I could make some different kinds of colors and not always go with black because of course black is cool tone, brown is warm tone. So I thought that would be fun to experiment with. And the black iron oxide that I already had was sent to me by Just Pigments for free. But the brown, I just ordered myself. Everything I ordered myself, and in the last order, I bought myself. But I also ordered this morning a silver pigment because the last one that I got was gray, and I wanted to see what would happen if I got silver. Because this does have a silver, it's like a silver gray, but yeah, I wanted to see if I could get one that was more silver and less gray. So there was something else I got too. What was it? I can't remember. But anyways, this has been so much fun, you guys. It's the like science of it and reading about ingredients and what do they do. Like if you pick up a palette that you have in your collection and you look at the list of ingredients, you'll see that there are a lot of ingredients that companies put in eyeshadow. But you know what I noticed about all of this? Most companies use talc, and talc is not one of the ingredients that I've been using. And I also will not use anything that is not eye safe. Because how many times have you bought a palette and then it'll say, oh, this shade, and this shade are not eye safe, not to be used in eye area, and it's supposed to be an eyeshadow palette. They call it a pigment palette. But yeah, I'm not going to buy or use anything that is not eye safe. As a matter of fact, one of the eyeshadows that I made that is no longer in here was one that I made with cinnamon. And I started thinking, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Cinnamon is very spicy, you know, and I didn't want to put something on my eye that I might get a reaction to, like sensitivity wise. So I ended up scraping that one out. I thought about it and I was like, no, don't even do it. I scraped that one out, cleaned out the pan, and used it to press something else. Yeah, you can't just use anything you want because you don't know how your skin's going to react to it. So the natural ones that I showed you that had no color payoff, I'm probably gonna have to scrap those because I don't see how, yeah, those natural types of things like turmeric and spirulina and cocoa powder, maybe if you just used those ingredients like loose on their own, but I don't know. I'm not sure how your skin would react to those either. But anyways, if you found any of this interesting at all, I'm going to keep playing around with this, making my own eyeshadows and having fun. And if you're looking for a hobby that's educational at the same time, because every time I was reading about ingredients, I was looking up to see what they did in terms of making eyeshadows, and it's fascinating. It really is. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel when you do. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.